See that plane? I'll be inside of it in 8 hours, but I made sure I caught it on its first flight of the day from Vero Beach. Later on, it'll come back, and I can't wait because it'll be taking me to White Plains. So, 2 hours before my departure time, I made my way over to the quaint Vero Beach Regional Airport, where someone in this control tower will issue my Breeze flight takeoff clearance so we can head in this direction and a whole lot more. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm getting ready to go on Moxie 915 and you're coming along with me. Let's go. Moxie is the call sign that Breeze uses, and my Moxie flight will be in this spot soon. All right, my aircraft is coming in from Stewart, SWF Airport. It's actually quite late from Stewart. It's gonna need to do a quick turn, so I'm not gonna really be able to stand over here to watch the plane pull in like I normally do. I think as soon as the plane lands, they're gonna turn it around. So I'm gonna head inside the terminal and then I'm gonna wait inside and then board the aircraft. This time around, I didn't have a chance to dine at the airport restaurant, CJ Cannon's, so once past TSA, I went straight to the vending machines to get some drinks and some snacks. Oh, come on. Voila! Here's the view out the window near the vending machine. Tropical, with a small area where we can see the principal runway, and coming in on it is my A220-300. Okay, I'm done with TSA and I'm in a very crowded area kind of right next to this soda machine because there is not a lot of room to sit. In any case, I'm looking forward to our departure today. We should be using runway 30 left. Our initial departure fix should be over the ocean, so I'm expecting a turn after takeoff. Okay, the plane is here, but I've got a little bit more waiting to do. Well, it's about 3 minutes of departure time. We still have not yet boarded. They're saying that they need to do a crew change. It's taking quite a bit of time, but hopefully we'll be on board soon. With a thirst for flying, I was listening out for any announcements about the crew change causing the delay, but we eventually boarded.
We're going to start with Zone 2.
Okay, Zone 2, that's me. Delay or no delay, this is always a magical moment. I'm a little concerned about the clouds that we'll have to pass through in our climb. How much of my view will be affected by them? We'll have to see, but for now, I'm enjoying this privilege. All right, we're delayed, but it was worth it because we're boarding the Airbus A220 outdoors. Today's tail number is 230 Bravo Zulu. I'm seated way in the back. It doesn't matter to me where I am as long as I'm on the left side. I'm hoping for a repeat of what happened to me the last time I flew this route. Once seated, the pilot came on to explain the delay.
My name's Robert Varney. I'm going to take you up to New York today. Sorry running late. As you noticed, the airplane came in a little late, and then for some reason they shut the airplane down, which caused us to wait 15 minutes to start it back up. So that just delays the whole process. I apologize on behalf of Breeze Airways for that. So main focus is safety. So we made sure we powered up everything the right way, did everything, ran our checklist, and we're going to get out of here shortly, and then we're going to get up there nice and safe. So, well, let's see, 2 hours, 21 minutes at 33,000 feet. I think it's a mostly smooth ride. I'll get that seatbelt sign turned off for you as soon as possible on the climb. I'm going to be assisted by co-captain Stephen Lopez today. You got 3 excellent flight attendants on board for your safety. You got Billy, Cameron, and Sebastian. They're going to take real good care of you with a nice friendly smile. If there's anything you need, just please feel free to reach out to any of us at any time. Weather's good here, weather's good there, just cold there, nice here, clear skies all the way around, the whole way up. So we'll wrap up, cargo's all loaded up, we're done being fueled, checklists are all done, so as soon as everybody's seated, stowed, and they give the announcements, we'll get a pushback out of here. So can't make up any time in the air, I won't lie to you. We're not going to make up any time, but we're going to do a nice, safe, enjoyable, smooth flight. So sit back, relax, Merry Christmas.
All right, well, I'm all excited about heading over to
And
HPN
Happy
today.
New Year.
All right, enough of the inside stuff. I'm not paying money to look at the seat in front of me. I've got a window and I'm focused outside. And now that the plane is fully boarded, the door is closed and the boarding ramp is removed, our pilot is ready to call ground control for pushback clearance.
Vero Beach ground.
Somebody's calling ground, say again.
Yeah, Moxie 915 requesting pushback.
Alright, Moxie 915, start the push, advise me ready to taxi.
Alright, we're pushing, we'll let you know when we're ready for taxi. Moxie 915, thank you.
We're being pushed back by the tug, and since today's departure runway is runway 30 left for optimal winds, when we come to a stop on the taxiway for tug removal, the nose of the aircraft will be facing the direction that we need to taxi in, and in this case, the runway heads northwest, so we will face southeast, which is the way the runway's parallel taxiway faces. And the pushback end position is on the taxiway itself, just like at the Westchester County Airport, so we will be blocking all traffic until we get underway under our own power. I'm very, very excited today because it's the first time I'm taking off on runway 30 left. It's always been runway 12 right for me, which is the same runway in the opposite direction. Breeze aircraft don't use the other two runways at this airport. We can see our taxi path below the winglet. I always find it interesting how people are allowed to walk right onto the taxiways beyond the ramp when a plane needs to push onto a taxiway, but this area is controlled by the person in the tower and it's safe. But typically the taxiway is used for airplanes moving along under their own power. Once the tug is removed, the humans on the ground need to walk back to the ramp so we can move along under our own power after requesting clearance to do so from the controller. While I'm really excited about the arrival to Westchester tonight, which will hopefully afford me airborne views of flights to and from LaGuardia and JFK, I'm heavily focused on the moment. Runway 30 left is the departure runway. Runways are chosen based upon the wind direction, and the air sock here proves to me that we will indeed have a headwind as we roll down the runway. In the sky, you can see a plane on a right downwind leg for either our runway or the parallel runway, runway 30 right. It will turn right to land, and here on the ground, a plane is turning to hold short of runway 30 left. This aircraft cannot cross the runway until told to do so by the tower, and there is indeed a plane taking off, so clearance won't come to cross until the departure is clear of the crossing spot. The same applies to this small plane headed the other direction on the crossing taxiway, and it looks like it may be a little hot inside that plane. Once the departing flight takes off, the controller clears the plane across the runway to get to the other side. There's also a small plane lifting off of runway 30 right, the parallel runway to runway 30 left. As for us, the tug is now removed, the engines are started, so we're ready to call ground control for taxi instructions to runway 30 left.
Vero Beach ground, Moxie 915, we're ready to taxi with Lima.
Moxie 915, Vero Beach ground, runway 30 left, taxi via Charlie.
30 left via Charlie, Moxie 915.
Since we're already on taxiway Charlie and the aircraft is pointed in the right direction, we just head straight. As we taxi along, we get to look at the runway from this side of the plane. I always like being able to see the runway before going on it, and a left side seat was chosen. But I did not choose the side of the plane for this. I chose it because of the arrival procedure to Westchester, and the last time I flew this arrival, this side of the plane afforded great views of air traffic to JFK Airport, and I'm hoping for this again. And even though JFK Airport will be closer to us than LaGuardia, there's a chance that we may get to see some LaGuardia traffic in the New York City airspace as well, and not too far from our plane. Sure, I often see LaGuardia traffic en route, but seeing it in a high-density airspace is a thrill. More on that once we get closer to Long Island. We need to get there first, and we're approaching takeoff. As we approach the end of the runway, at the beginning of the runway, we can see over the wing that there's a small aircraft waiting for takeoff clearance in front of us. The tower is about to tell this airplane to take off. Here's the transmission.
November 6 Papa Delta, on course approved, runway 30 left, please take off.
Takeoff, runway 30 left, 6 Papa Delta.
We can watch the aircraft take off from this position on the plane. However, we're not given takeoff clearance right away for two reasons. First, the local TRACON facility has not yet released us.
Moxie 915, waiting on IFR release from Palm Beach.
Roger that, Moxie 915.
The second reason is that there's a plane that's on approach.
Flight 663, runway 30 left, clear touch go.
Make a full stop for this one, 663.
Flight 663, runway 30 left, clear land.
Clear to land, 30 left, 663.
That plane was going to do a touch and go, a procedure where the plane would touch down and then take off right away, but requested a full stop landing, which the tower cleared him for. Like the previous departure, we'll be able to see this arrival, and since there is no one on approach behind it, the tower will then tell us to line up and wait.
Moxie 915, runway 30 left, line up and wait.
Moxie 915.
Down ahead, that small airplane is touching down, and the tower is observing it so that he can instruct the plane to vacate the runway to make way for the big guy. That's us. The plane has slowed down enough to be able to vacate the runway at taxiway Charlie 4, so the tower asks him to turn left there and taxi to the ramp.
Flight 663, turn left on Charlie 4, taxi via Charlie to the ramp, push racing.
Sitting on the left-hand side affords a view down the 7,314-foot-long runway. So far, the view has been a win since we've left the gate, and we haven't even taken off yet. Now we just wait for the tower to issue takeoff clearance. Okay, the time has come.
Foxtrot 915, flighting 300, runway 30 left, clear for takeoff.
Heading 300, 30 left, clear for takeoff, Mach 915.
Papa Delta, free change for good day.
Good day, 6 Papa Temple.
It's now time for the tower controller to hand us off to the departure controller.
Foxtrot 915, contact Palm Beach departure.
I missed the pilot's response, but he'll check in with the next controller in a moment. The climb is straight out to the northwest over the western Vero Beach area. Today we'll be taking a water route, so we will need to turn either to the left or to the right to get out over the Atlantic. I'm hoping for a left turn because I'm on the left-hand side of the plane. Once we check in, the controller is going to point out two VFR aircraft nearby. One will be in our 11 o'clock position and another one will be on our right side. Both will be at 2,700 feet, so the controller will issue us a turn to the left, which serves to avoid them. Let's check in.
Right approach, Mach 915, 1,800, climbing to 2,000, heading off 300.
Mach 915 departure, radar contact, VFR targets, 11 o'clock, 2 miles northbound, 2,700 indicated, and then off the right side indicates 2,700 as well. Turn left, heading a 180.
Subway traffic, left 180, Mach 915.
I'm actually happy for that traffic because we're turning nice and early to avoid them. The controller is actually going to point out the traffic again and have us keep the turn tight. He'll also point out another plane south of us that he sees on his radar scope.
Flight Mach 915, it's just west, a mile northbound, indicates 2,600. Good rate on the turn, that'll keep you east of them.
Alright, traffic in sight, east to our right, Mach 915.
915, excellent, climb maintain 5,000. There's another VFR target south, 3 miles southeast, that indicates 2,500.
Subway traffic, climb maintain 5,000, Mach 915.
We were also told to climb to 5,000 feet, and here comes a further turn.
Mach 915, continue left turn, heading a 160.
Left heading 160, Mach 915.
There are a lot of planes out here. Listen to the controller talk to this guy.
Traveler 97 Mike, 12 o'clock, 2 miles northbound, indicates 2,500. Suggest you climb or descend immediately.
5 Mike.
That's a Mike affirmative. Climb or descend immediately. 12 o'clock, a mile, same altitude.
5 Mike descend.
There's a lot going on. As for us, under the winglet, you can see the airport we just departed from, and way in the distance is the Atlantic Ocean. I mentioned we'd be taking a water route today, and we'll be making left-hand turns to head out over the water to the northeast toward New York City. A right turn after takeoff would have been more efficient, but I'm not complaining. Here comes a turn to bring us further to the east.
Moxie 915, turn left heading 080.
Left heading 080, Moxie 915.
80 degrees points us toward the water, and I'm hoping to see downtown Vero Beach and even closer airport views, but there are too many clouds. Clouds are my enemy, and considering this is the first time I've taken off this way and flew in this airspace, I just want to take it all in, but I can't. At least it was an exciting takeoff. Here, the Palm Beach Tracon's ceiling is not that high, so the controller is going to hand us off to the Miami Air Route Traffic Control Center, which will handle the rest of our climb.
Oxy 915, the other VFR target no factor, contact Miami Center 132.25.
Alright, we'll go over to Miami 132.25, Moxie 915.
I didn't hear the pilot checking in with Miami Center, but I heard the controller giving us clearance all the way up to 18,000 feet.
Moxie 915, Miami Center, come and maintain flight level 180.
The controller then came back to talk about areas of precipitation in our 11 o'clock position.
Moxie 915, areas of moderate precipitation between 11 and 1 o'clock, 5 miles here, scattered 5 miles in diameter.
We avoided the precipitation, but it was indeed quite bumpy as we passed through the clouds. I love the bumps. We can see the Vero Beach Airport and the gap in the clouds down there, and now it's gone. The really bumpy part is coming up. We won't have any more visual references on the ground below us, but in a few miles we'll be out over the Atlantic Ocean. Once we're over the ocean, the plan is to make a left-hand turn to the northeast over the water, and the Miami Center controller is coordinating that now. He's going to tell us that once we leave 10,000 feet, we can proceed direct to Pelican. Pelican is a waypoint off the coast of Florida to the northeast of Vero Beach. Once we get to Pelican, we can proceed along the air routes toward New York. Here's the controller telling us what to do at 10,000 feet.
Moxie 915, leaving 10,000, clear direct Pelican.
So we'll know we're at 10,000 feet once we start a left-hand turn. Let's fast forward to that point. Okay, we're leaving 10,000 feet now, so we're turning left toward Pelican. We've been cleared up to 18,000 feet, but the controller is now ready to assign us a higher altitude, 23,000 feet.
Moxie 915, come and maintain flight level 230.
That's it for ATC for now. We'll be handed off to other high-altitude center frequencies, but we'll resume ATC in this video once we get to the New York area. That was a nice departure, and you couldn't feel it, of course, because it's video, but it was choppy in those clouds. It was fun. The sun glare revealed some marks on the window, so I promptly addressed the situation so I could take in the high-altitude views. I was not going to miss this Delta A321 flying from LaGuardia to Miami. And way up there with the contrail is a G5 out of PBI. What a sunset this evening. The colors were purely stunning. Everything just seemed so perfect, and in a rare moment where I looked into the cabin, the lights were actually a beautiful shade of blue that contrasted yet worked so well with the orange and yellow colors that the left side passengers got to see. It's during sunsets like this that you can often see passengers using their phones to take photos. But I'm looking out for more, like this Delta 737-800 flying from JFK to Miami. What a lovely evening up here. It's time for a message from the sponsor of today's video, Exter. Exter wallets come in a variety of shapes and sizes and colors. This one actually glows in the dark. With durable wallets and card holders, the value derived from Exter is unmatched. I always carry an Exter wallet with me, and I know I'll never lose it because I can add an AirTag to it. Check out their site. They have lots of awesome products. And as a viewer of this channel, if you enter code MASELA at checkout, you'll save. Visit the link in the description below. Oh, and from December 26th to January 24th, Exter is having a New Year's sale with up to 40% off. Wouldn't an Exter wallet or accessory make a great gift? Don't forget to use code MASELA on top of the holiday savings. Below the winglet are the city lights of Charleston, and above the wing is a NetJet Citation headed south from Hartford, Connecticut. We're off the coast of Wilmington, North Carolina, and a few minutes later we moved inland for a great view of the Jacksonville, North Carolina area. Down there is New Bern, North Carolina. It sure is a great night for flying for us, and that Spirit A320 flying in the opposite direction from Philadelphia to Miami. The last time I flew over this particular city, it was covered in clouds. Do you know what this is? And that's a nice view of Norfolk down there. It looks beautiful this evening, and the good news is that the clear skies will remain for the rest of the flight. LaGuardia and JFK action, here we come. But we still have some time to go, and here in the foreground we see Salisbury, Maryland with Washington, D.C. in the distance. We're headed toward the shoreline as we pass over Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. I'm all ready for the Bono. The Bono arrival will keep us off of the Jersey shore and point us toward Long Island. For now, we take in this great view across the state of New Jersey to Philadelphia. Below our winglet is a United flight from Newark to Tampa. We're descending and heading out over the Atlantic near Seaside Heights, New Jersey. We're staying east of arrivals to Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. New York City is just under the wing, and over at LaGuardia Airport, American Airlines Flight 3216, a Boeing 737-800 bound for Tampa, is in position on runway 4. This plane is about to get takeoff clearance, so I'm about to tune into the control tower at LaGuardia to hear the controller tell the flight to take off.
American 3216, traffic 2 mile final, runway 4, runway, 2 mile final, runway 4 for signal. Takeoff, runway 4, American 3216.
So why did I share this with you? Well, Flight 3216 is headed south to Florida. And what makes today's version of this flight unique is that after it takes off of the Bronx and runway 4, it'll make a right turn to the south by JFK Airport. And we're headed that way too, so we'll have an opportunity to see it. Once the flight enters JFK airspace, the pilot checks in with the JFK departure controller.
New York American 3216, passing 6 for 8,000.
3216, New York, roger, climb and maintain 2000.
12,000, 3216.
And there it is, headed south. Today it happens to be using a departure fix over the ocean rather than flying the typical departure route that it flies over New Jersey. We'll now tune in to the control tower at Kennedy Airport, where Delta Flight 168, a Boeing 767 bound for Barcelona, Spain, is about to get takeoff clearance on runway 4 left.
Delta 168 Heavy, 136, 012, and 4 left, over takeoff.
Delta 168 Heavy, 4 left, clear for takeoff.
Yes, you guessed it. Just like that American Airlines flight to Tampa, we'll be seeing this flight to Spain. We're east of JFK, and we can see it next to Jamaica Bay. We're descending via the Bono arrival, which keeps us well clear of the big New York airports, and we can still see that American flight from LaGuardia. Delta Flight 168 is now airborne and is going to check in with New York departure, which is the same frequency American is on.
Departure, good evening. Delta 168 Heavy with you, heading 100, pass at about 1.7.
Delta 168 Heavy, New York, radar contact, climb and maintain 1000.
Delta 11,000, Delta 168 Heavy.
Delta 168 is on a 100-degree heading, which is to the east, and we're east of JFK, so this should work out well. All departures off of runway 4 left will turn east after takeoff. It keeps them out of LaGuardia's airspace, which is to the west of JFK. Once established on a 100-degree heading, pilots await clearance to a new heading based upon their initial departure fix, or they may receive clearance directly to their departure fix. Since flights to Europe generally fly to the east for their Atlantic crossing, I'm pretty sure that we'll see Delta 168. Flights to the southern and western departure fixes would typically be told to turn to the south, and flights to the north and to the northwest would turn to the north. And the visibility is great tonight. We're still over the ocean, but we're approaching the South Shore beaches of Long Island. At JFK, we're practically looking straight down runways 31 left and 31 right, and beyond it, in a straight line, is Manhattan. Tonight, Delta 168 is going to take a more southern route to Spain, and the controller is going to issue it a turn to its initial departure fix.
Delta 168 Heavy, turn right, direct, happy.
Right turn direct, happy, Delta 168.
Happy is a departure fix located over the ocean south of Cherry Grove on Fire Island in Long Island's Suffolk County. Since we're still on the south side of Long Island, this means that the plane should be turning toward the southeast and pass below us. There it is. It's heading to Happy and climbing to 11,000 feet, which restricts it from flying near us. It's flying over the bay between Wantagh and Jones Beach. Because it's a wide body, it's easy to spot, and fortunately, it's over the dark water. As it approaches the beach and the ocean, it passes just below us on our left side. Not an air traffic factor at all for us, but a beautiful thing to see. Now, while I was doing all this talking, an EVA flight was taking off from JFK's runway 4 left, and this transmission happened about 1 minute ago.
New York departure, EVA 635, leaving 1,500 for 5,000, heading 100.
EVA 635 Heavy, New York, radar contact, climb and maintain 17,000.
Climb maintain 17,000, EVA 635.
That's EVA 635 down there. It's harder to see, but it's taking a more northern route because its departure fixes to the northwest of New York City. It's a cargo 777 with the destination of Anchorage, completely in the opposite direction of Barcelona. This plane will fly a giant left-hand turn around the New York City suburbs, eventually flying directly over the Westchester County Airport, our destination, and then to the northwest to its departure fix of Gale, which is over Goshen, New York. Now back to Delta 168. Once Delta 168 gets to its departure fix of Happy, the plane will proceed further east and continue on to Europe. And that'll all happen under the watchful eye of the next controller located at the Boston Center. Here's the air traffic handoff.
Delta 168 Heavy, contact Boston Center 135.8 today.
Over to Boston, 135.8. You have a good night.
You too.
There's so much going on in the airspace around here. This is a worldwide hub. Just look down below how dense Long Island is. There are lights everywhere, and people going everywhere in the sky. We're going to White Plains, and it's just off of our nose to the left, but because of the sheer volume of the flights below, we have to stay high and far from what's going on down there. Even though the airport we'll be landing at is straight ahead and to the left, we can't descend thousands of feet in a straight line to get there. So in a moment, we're going to turn to the right and head further east away from our destination, but this will give us the opportunity to descend, then we can swing around over the Long Island Sound and land. We haven't even checked in with New York Approach Control yet. The actual New York Approach Control facility is down there on Long Island and is divided into different sectors. We were eavesdropping on the Kennedy sector. LaGuardia has its own sector too, and when LaGuardia flights enter the JFK sector, they'll talk to JFK controllers. We heard an example of that earlier with that American flight flying from LaGuardia to Tampa. We'll be talking to a sector that handles flights from and to Westchester and flights to LaGuardia that are coming in from the north since they pass through Westchester's airspace. But that sector is not here. It doesn't begin until we're over Long Island Sound, heading back towards HPN. We're now heading east, looking at Long Island Sound with Connecticut on the other side. Our destination airport is on the far western end of the Connecticut border. We could be there in a few minutes, but it's going to take 18 more minutes to get there because we need to get lower. We're simply following the Buono arrival procedure as we've been doing since we started on down. It takes a really long time, but there's no way around it. Or should I say, this is a way around the city. Since I don't have any ATC from the center, the air traffic control facility that's monitoring us now, I'll speed this part up until we've completed our turn and are about to check in with the New York approach controller who is responsible for Westchester County Airport's airspace. Okay, we've descended all the way to 5,000 feet and can now check in with New York approach control.
And approach Moxie 915, 5,000 to 4,000 direct line.
Moxie 915, New York, turn left heading 260.
Left heading 260, Moxie 915.
Challenger 8 Foxtrot Echo, heading 180, descend to 2,000.
180 heading 2,000. 28 Fox Echo.
Global Jet 2226, reduce speed to 200.
All right, we're doing it right now at 2226.
Roger, Moxie 915, descend to 3,000.
Descend to 3,000, Moxie 915.
Wow, this controller's busy. We checked in and were asked to fly heading 260 for sequencing. The controller spoke to other pilots on the frequency, then cleared us down to 3,000 feet. Let's listen into this busy approach controller talking to other pilots. He's going to clear a Challenger for a visual approach to runway 34 at Westchester, so I think we can also expect the visual approach to runway 34.
8 Fox Echo, the airport is 3 o'clock and 6 miles.
Slide 8 Fox Echo.
Challenger 8 Foxtrot Echo, cleared visual approach, runway 34.
Clear for visual 34, 28 Fox Echo. Approach, get you 147, 8,000, salary,
Jet 147, New York approach, descend to maintain 3,000.
Down to 3,000 for Jet 147.
For now, we just continue along. We're looking at the North Shore of Long Island out there, and passengers on the right side can see Connecticut. The frequency got quiet for a moment, so I'll move forward to the next transmission, which will be for us.
Moxie 915, descend to maintain 2,000, turn 10 degrees left.
Turn 10 degrees left, Moxie 915.
If you look at the wing, you can observe our 10-degree turn to the left. We're also descending to 2,000 feet, but that's tougher to see.
4806, turn left heading 230, maintain 180 knots and 4,000. 4806, 230 heading, 4,000, and then slow to 180. And everything's okay? You're just going to try to go right back in?
Hey, firm, we
Copy. Moxie 915, turn 10 degrees right.
Degrees right, Moxie 915.
Number 6 Papa Lima, contact departure 120.4.
120.4, Papa Lima.
We're going back to the right now. It's only 10 degrees. These small turns allow the controller to put us in the right spot to join the approach course. I'll let you listen into some more of what's happening on this frequency to have awareness of what's around us. It's important for the pilots to hear and be aware of who they share the airspace with.
Global Jet 226, fighting 180. Global Jet 2226, fighting 180.
2226.
4806, slow to 180 and contact approach on 134.9er.
Yes, close to the seat 49, descending out of 6,500 for 6,000 at Sierra.
Endeavor 4806, reduce speed to 180, contact approach 134.9er.
Going 180, 134.9er.
Oxy 915 heading 280, advise Westchester inside.
And one flight, Moxie 915.
Silver Springs 49, New York, going to maintain 3000, verify you have Sierra.
Down to 3000, Silver Springs 49, Moxie 915, that's Vero Beach.
Global Jet 2226, reduce speed at 180.
180, Global Jet 2226. Moxie 915, inside.
Oxy 915, cleared visual approach, runway 34.
Clear for the visual, runway 34, Moxie 915.
The airport's off our right side. The pilot has the airport in sight, and we're cleared for the visual approach to runway 34. In a moment, we'll be handed off to the control tower at the airport.
Jet 2226, try to maintain 2000. Jet 147, fly present heading, vector sequence.
Roger, fly present heading for Jet 147.
Oxy 915, power 11857.
418.57, Moxie 915.
We can turn further to the right and check in with the control tower for landing clearance. Runway 34 is being used for arrivals and departures with the wind coming from 350 degrees. We'll be cleared to land right away, and for the landing, I'll let you listen into the A220 sounds as well as all of the transmissions from the tower. But stay tuned to the very end because there's going to be a very special person making a cameo at the end of the video. Let's call the tower.
Westchester Tower, Moxie 915, on the visual for runway 34.
Moxie 915, Westchester Tower, wind 35011, runway 34, for the land.
Runway 34, clear to land, Moxie 915. Jet 2226 visual for 34 behind the traffic in runway inside.
Jet 2226, Westchester Tower, number 2, following the C series, wind 36012, runway 34, for the land.
For land on 34, thank you, Global Jet 2226.
Chandra 8 Fox Echo, where are you parking?
Picture west.
8 Fox Echo, left Charlie, taxi Charlie Kilo, cross 29, stay with me.
Charlie Kilo, cross 29 with you. 28 Fox Echo. Jet 147, inbound visual, runway 34.
Jet 147, Westchester Tower, 136.011, runway 34, foot land.
34, clear to land, Jet 147.
Moxie 915, all the way down to the end, right there, Alpha with me.
All the way to the end and Alpha with you, Moxie 915.
All right, we're on the ground here at HPN, and the tower controller is keeping us on his frequency since ground traffic is light, and there's no need to check in with another person who would tell us to do what the controller just said. We just continue along taxiway Alpha all the way to the gate. We'll be at the gate real soon. Okay, we're at the gate, and from here I can see the observation deck, a place I always go before my flight, and there's someone up there. Who is that person? Well, we need to get off the plane because he just walked down to the bag claim area. Here he is.
Did you see me from the plane?
It's my dad. He's been featured on my channel a lot. Make sure you go back to check out his contribution to this channel. All right, well, it's time for me to collect my bag here at the Westchester County Airport. What a great flight, and I'm so happy I sat, as usual, on the left-hand side of the airplane. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I invite you to click on the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and I'll be back again with many more videos like this. Thanks, everybody. See you all soon. But I can't make the day's experience just end at the airport. Remember at the beginning of this video, I filmed my A220 on its first flight of the day? Well, I made sure that the first thing I did when I was back in New York City was to look for this plane on its last flight of the day, about an hour after I landed. Here we can see the plane I was just on its last flight of the day back to Vero Beach, where it will remain overnight.